Hello everyone, this is Freepex Reborn. We're going to get started with another tutorial. This tutorial will cover waypoints and supplies. And as you can tell, I'm in Divinity's Reach at the moment. First things first, let's select the borderland to go to. This video is going to be sort of fast paced, so I got on my feet instead. FA looks okay, decent enough. Decent, yeah, that's fine. Okay, while it's loading, I want to give a shout out to Zero and Corian for giving me great feedback on my videos. Zero told me about basically looking at other World vs. World tutorials and seeing what other items I could bring in. And I'm going to be discussing that with the supply. And Corian told me don't forget about the waypoints. And just basically have fun with making the video, which is great help for me. So thank you both. First, when you come into your home borderland, you'll start off at Citadel Waypoint. That waypoint will never be contested. If you go to an enemy borderland, let's say Maguma, your waypoint will not be in the center anymore because this is their home borderland, Maguma. Your waypoint will be in one of the bottom corners of the map. For us, it's on the right side for Aspenwood waypoint. And this other waypoint belongs to the enemy server. They're contested, so we can't go there. If we go down, Eternal Battleground is a unique map. Our waypoint will always be in the bottom right hand corner if you're blue. If we're a different color for this week, it could be either at the top part of the map up here or at the bottom left hand corner. So in general, if you're not in your home borderland, your waypoint will always be at the bottom of the map or at one of the edges, except Eternal Battleground, which is always an exception to the rule. Okay, now that we got waypoints out the way, let's go over supply. At the top of this window, where the timer is counting down at, you'll see it says 15 supply for me. You can normally carry 10 or 15 supply. In general, let's just say you can only carry 10 supply. So why is supply so important? You'll need supply to repair your towers, your keep, your wall, build siege weapons, and more. What is siege weapons? Are siege weapons? These are siege weapons, blueprints. Yeah, I know what you may be thinking. They're just sheets of paper. How do I use a blueprint? Well, you open up your inventory. You double click on a blueprint. And right now, my Assurant, Danavis, is carrying a blueprint. And in case I forgot to say, this is Repex talking, explaining this video. Okay, you have two icons. Deploy a catapult, which you get a little green circle, and you can place the siege weapon wherever you want. A rule to note is that the siege weapon will be deployed in whichever direction you're facing. So if I want the siege weapon to be deployed at this golem, which is also a siege weapon, I will face it, and then I will toss it down. Note, you cannot deploy siege weapons at your spawn location. That would sort of be unfair to enemy servers. If you accidentally click on a blueprint and you don't want it, press the 2 key or click here and it will go away. It will be put back into your inventory. Alright. What other siege weapons are there? Flame rams. Flame rams are things like this battering ram, that you'll use to knock down gates. There are other siege weapons, like, hold on, Windows spasm, there we go. Like this arrow cart. Arrow carts shoot a ton of arrows down into a field for AoE attacks. So why would we use this if we're like a staff ally and we can already do a lot of AoE attacks? Well, if you're a staff Ellie or a Necro, I believe you can only hit about 5 enemies in your AoE circle. But Arrow Card can hit, I believe, up to 50 enemy players. So, yeah, siege weapons are the way to go when you want to do damage to a Zerg. Which, again, as we covered in a previous video, a Zerg is players of over 25 and higher, or 20 and higher. Ballistas. You can consider ballistas as a projectile. It is a projectile attack. It's very slow, but it can do a lot of damage to enemy players. Horizontal, yes. Horizontal attacks, although they can shoot diagonal. Catapults are great for attacking doors, walls, enemy siege weapons, or towers. Trebuchets, I don't think there's a good example of a trebuchet around here. Oh, right over here, this is the arrow card. If you're wondering what it looks like, this is one right here. Trebuchet, there's a trebuchet. Well, let me get to it. Right here, this is a trebuchet. They can be used to attack really far distances, farther than any of your staff skills. Really far. This is a good example of a siege weapon site. Like if I was to take out my catapult and throw it down onto the ground, it would basically look like this. And then if players walk over and use their supply, this magical number at the top of the screen, they can press the F key or whatever their interact button is set to and start building up this siege weapon. Each siege weapon requires a different amount of supply. Like this catapult requires 50 supply. You can see it in the last sentence of this pop-up, require 50 supply to complete. Once it's complete, someone can use it. The other siege weapons, there's this golem. Golems are slow moving. Mesmers can use portals to portal the golem so they can transfer it faster. There isn't a golem really around, I don't think, for me to show you. Looking at the map, and it doesn't like anyone's using golem. In a future video, I'll show you advanced ways how you can read the map and tell different things what's going on, like what siege weapons. This siege weapon right here, a cannon, it's a special siege weapon. You can't use any blueprints for this cannon to make. They are only at keeps, and it requires supply to build it up. But more on that on a future video. Or maybe I'll be able to cover it this video, we'll see. Okay, now that we covered blueprints, we still need to cover where do you get supply. You get supply at supply camps. Looking at the map, let's go over to the east. So I'm going to go to, I was going to waypoint, but that's okay. This video is all on the fly. I'm not pre-recording it or rehearsing or anything. So just bear with me. I brought my thief because I know he's faster than my Ellie, at least in general. No idea what that's player doing. Right now we're running to a supply camp, and we're also going to run over to a tower too. Since this is a supply video, there's a lot to cover, but it's a beginner video still, so don't worry. I'm going to fall down here. Also, my thief, since he's not my main character, I will make some mistakes by now. Okay, just like PvE, there's a point of interest here that you can discover if you're mapping. You have to discover everything here if you want world completion. Okay, in the upper right hand corner, where my mouse is, you'll see supply and depot 70 of 100. This tower has 70 supplies. So that right now, if I come over here, I could take these supplies if I wasn't maxed out already. If I try to take more supply, you'll receive the message, you cannot carry more supplies, yes. You can also use supplies to upgrade your towers and keep. Over here, these upgrades for structural do not require a specific amount of supply. It just requires money, 10 silver. If I was to do one of these, you see the number for supply is now red, and it says it requires 100 supply to do personnel upgrades. In general, it's not a good idea to take supply from towers or keep, because usually we want to use those supply to defend or upgrade the tower or a keep. Right now we are at a tower. As we discussed in the previous video, this is Northeast Tower. Okay, back over to supply camps. There are several ways to reach the supply camp. I'll just go this way. I'm already heading in this direction. I don't have 50% falling damage on, so I'm trying to be careful as I navigate down here. Alright, cool. And we'll continue on. This right here is a Dolyak. This Dolyak will carry supplies to our tower or keep. That's how our keep and tower gets supplies. Right now we're over at the supply camp. Again, in the upper right hand corner, you can see that it says 100 supplies out of 100. So this place has a ton of supplies, but it probably hasn't been upgraded. So let's walk over, click upgrade, and let's see. We can either hire a guard to escort the caravans, or we can double the supplies. I am going to... All of this is situational, rise. I will do double. Now, since I did that, the supply count dropped down to 10. Really, it took all 100 supplies, but the supply can't restore supplies over time. Okay. What should we do next? I think that's about it for supplies that I can really show. Yeah, this video was shorter than I thought this time. Making sure. There are swords down here. And I could run down there to show you how to repair this supply, but really, we'll repair a tower, but it's simple. You just walk over and press the F key. So that's it for this video for today. Thank you all for joining.